Shiny object syndrome is one of the big reasons why most entrepreneurs never hit 6 or 7 figures. Take a look at the statistic here. Only 6% make it to 6 figures, and only 2% make it to 7 figures. And by the way, of that little 2% who make it to 7 figures, only 1.7% of that 2% are women. That's not a lot of people. And I really think that one of the biggest reasons for this is shiny object syndrome. So I wanted to really quickly define what shiny object syndrome is in case you don't know what it is. So right here it says shiny object syndrome is the situation where people focus all attention on something that is new, current, or trendy, yet drop this as soon as something new takes the place. So essentially you're bouncing from thing to thing to thing and nothing can build traction. I wanna show you what this looks like, okay? Here's what shiny object syndrome is like, okay? Let's say that you're Maria. This is the ideal. You're focused, right? And you build traction. You see growth. Here's what it's like to have shiny object syndrome, okay? It's like you start here, you start at the same place, and you go up a little bit, but then you stop. So then you start again. You work a little bit, and then you stop. You work a little bit, and then you stop. So meanwhile, while somebody like myself is over here building a ton of traction, just super consistently, you can't get above this level, whatever that might be, because you're starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And so think about it logically, right? How are you supposed to build traction? How can you build traction when you're constantly starting and stopping? You can't. And so I have seen even business owners who have been around for a long time still make this mistake. Many of my peers who run online businesses but haven't quite hit the 7-figure mark are always struggling because they can't stay focused on one thing and they're always trying something new. So the first thing that you need to roll out in your business is the rule of the 5 ones. Some of you already know the rule of the 5 ones. If you don't know what the rule of the 5 ones are, here's what they are. You are going to sell one product to one target market, solving one problem, using one system for getting clients over a period of 1 year. So one product, one problem, one target market, one platform to get sales for 1 year. First year I followed this was the first year my business hit 7 figures, and this is not an accident. The 5 ones provide constraints in a good way. It helps you know what you're not going to do if you want to grow your business, if you want to hit 7 figures in your business. So few people, I've taught this rule for years now, so few people will actually stick to the rule of the 5 ones and only sell one product for 1 year on one, conversion mechanism, that I actually feel comfortable guaranteeing that if you can actually stick to the rule of 5 ones, you will hit 7 figures in a year. I feel comfortable doing that because the handful of people that I've seen do it have stuck to the rule of the 5 ones. Everybody else cannot overcome their shiny object syndrome tendencies and they don't hit it. So it's almost like all you have to do for a year is just sell one product to one target market, solving one problem, using one platform for a year. That's it. The second thing that you need to do to overcome shiny object syndrome and stop pivoting all the time is you need to start making decisions based on data, not emotions. So beginner and intermediate entrepreneurs are like toddlers and teenagers. You haven't yet reached business emotional maturity. And so you feel everything in your business very intensely. So you make a $10,000 sale, pay in full, you run around the house like a crazy person. Or conversely, you have a really hot lead, you think a deal is going to go through and it doesn't. And so you feel rejected and maybe it ruins your day. And even if you think, oh, that's not me, I'm not super emotional, you actually likely are, but it could be manifesting itself differently. One of the hallmarks of business owners making less than $100,000 in their business per year is that they tend to drive decisions with emotions rather than data. And so I really want you to do an audit of your decision-making process and see how you decide to do things in your business. I can almost promise you in some way, shape, or form, it's emotion-based. Otherwise, you would be at $100,000 per year or more. Data also takes time to collect, which slows down your decision-making process altogether. You can't make impetuous decisions if you rely on data because data just takes time to collect. And you can't pivot all the time because you have to stop and slow down and see what the data is telling you. The minute that I stop, this is so important, so pay attention. The minute that I stopped making decisions based on emotion and I started making decisions based on data was the minute I began to build traction, and very shortly thereafter, I hit 7 figures. You've got to stop making decisions based on your emotion. The next thing that you need to do in order to overcome shiny object syndrome and stop pivoting and doing all the things is you need accountability and support. One of the biggest reasons why my students in the Get Clients Now program, they get clients so quickly is because of the support and the accountability that we provide to them in our coaching programs. When you're tempted to, try a bunch of different things and try a bunch of different ideas because it feels like nothing is working, this is where a solid coach and a solid community can guide you and say, hey, wait a minute. Don't do this. Don't get distracted. Stay focused. And if you don't have a solid business coach or at least a solid supportive community, you're going to find it difficult to A, make a business game plan that you can actually stick to, and B, stick to the game plan itself. At the end of this video, I am going to show you how you can get access to a training where I actually provide you that game plan that you can stick to. It's super helpful and I'll walk you through it. So be sure to stay to the end of the video to get more info on that. The next thing that you need in order to overcome shiny object syndrome is that you need to be okay with being bored, being scared, and being uncomfortable as you start saying no to things. This shirt basically sums it up. When you start avoiding shiny object syndrome and you begin to break that cycle of distraction, it can actually be pretty painful. You will feel pain, you will feel discomfort, and you're gonna feel like you're missing out. You're gonna feel like things are growing too slowly or you aren't doing enough. These are very normal human emotions. And so you need to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is how you're going to grow. When you are comfortable with being bored, when you're comfortable with feeling a little bit of FOMO, when you are comfortable feeling like things are taking too long, that's when you're actually going to start to grow. Getting comfortable, being uncomfortable will help you slow things down and ride out any waves of disbelief or doubt in yourself. Overcoming shiny object syndrome is one of the most important things that you can do to give yourself the gift of a successful, thriving, profitable business. If you want me to help you create a business game plan that you can actually stick to, you should totally come to this free coaching call that I am hosting. It's super awesome. In this free workshop, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna help walk you through how to make a business game plan. I call it the Get Clients Now business game plan. Essentially, it's okay, what do I need to be focusing on so I can start making serious money? And then once you know what you should be focusing on, you just need to stick to it. Super helpful. You can go to mariawent.com/workshop to sign up for it, and be sure to print off the sheet that comes with it. It's super important. So again, mariawent.com/workshop, or you can click the link in the description below. I will see you there. If you've been feeling like you haven't been making the progress that you want to make in your business, this is definitely a free coaching call that you want to come to. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to learn more about how I teach and how I run a 7-figure business, be sure to hit subscribe. I'm very passionate. Of all entrepreneurs who hit 7 figures, only 1.7% of them are women, and I'm on a mission to get that number up. So be sure to subscribe if you're a woman who wants a thriving, successful business, and I'll see you in the next video. Bam! Done. How you like me now?